slept fine. A lot of dreams though. And in my dreams, I was chasing something. I was chasing desire. I was chasing success. But at every turn, it was out of reach. And the last dream, the last part of the dream I had right before I woke up was I was trying to get up this hill. And I got up this huge hill. And then I got up to this other hill. And it was straight up. I mean, it was so straight up. And I had thrown a rope up. And I was pulling myself up with this rope. And I was at this last part. But it kept getting steeper. And I remember I'm reaching up to this last part, and I'm right there, and I'm right there. And I don't know if I got there or not, because then I woke up. And when I woke up and got going, it hit me that, you know, this format, and of course it's not just the dream, but this format has served me well for the pandemic. And it has been an incredible foundation for a time where, you know, things were really uncertain and weird and unimaginable. But, you know, they were doable. And part of the way it became doable for me was to have this practice to come to every morning. And what really motivated me was that I could share it with you all, and that maybe it would be helpful for some of you. And so it really did. It got me up every morning. It got me going every morning. It was a great way to start the day. And, you know, I remember just kind of thinking, how can I share the tools that have been so useful for me with other people in a way that I can sustain? And I figured out the path, and I found the path, and I'll find it again in another format. But I think it's time to say goodbye to this format. You know, what we've accomplished, and I say we, I think appropriately, because there's the potential for an audience on the other end of this screen. That made me feel kind of connected. You know, whomever watched it, you know, I typically didn't know, but sometimes I did know who watched and who found utility in the practice and the way I was able to share it. But you know, it was more for me. And this last week was really interesting. This last week felt like a big significant moment for me. And it all centered around the thing that led my life down the longest path that it ever led, which was my brother's death. Really changed the way I interacted with the world. And I had analyzed his passing a million different ways, but I never analyzed it, and I never looked at it from his perspective. I always kind of saw the story from my own, and I gave him a story of being a victim, being fragile, being a victim of circumstance. But what I've come to kind of see more clearly, and this is partly knowing the nervous system, partly knowing biology, and partly just re-examining the moment in a way that I just had never considered it before, and that's that he's a fighter, and he wanted to keep living. And I think he wants me to remember him that way. Not as a victim, but as a fighter and as a brave young man, young boy that, you know, didn't give up until the last moment. And I never thought about him like that. And that that really had a positive impact on me. Just coming to that realization. It felt like a door was opened, or maybe a door was closed that needed to be closed. So it feels very appropriate. It feels like the right time. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you, technology. Right? I mean, I've just been able to sit down, and I've got this really cool camera that shows the ArmorDown symbol, and you know, it's really easy to use. It's very fluid. It's intuitive. You know, I wouldn't have done it if it was, I wouldn't have done it if it was really hard and complex and burdensome. But I really appreciate that. I really appreciate just tech in general. Can you imagine going through a pandemic like in 1918 when you didn't have the tech and you just had to sit in your house? Man. So I'm really appreciative of the tech. So I think that's it. You know, I just wanted to come on one last time in this format, just in this format. I wanted to come on one last time in this format and just, you know, pass on my goodwill. You know, remember to practice. I can't tell you how much I have learned from doing the practice, the 4 bells, over and over and over again. My internal landscape feels so accessible and so communicative. It doesn't feel so foreign. And that's where the wisdom is. It's from your body. It's not your mind. Your mind's interpreting things. Your mind is an analyzer. Your mind can be creative. But your body's where your wisdom is. That's where you hold the power to kind of learn and to keep going and to evolve. You know, that's all in there. It's all in the body. So I encourage you to keep up your practice. I encourage you to keep learning about the landscape of your internal world. And, you know, buy yourself an ArmorDown meditation cushion. They really are effective and helpful, and they make all the difference in your practice. So, yeah, one more plug for the cushion, right? Anyway, I'm going to sign off now, and I don't know what format I will see you again in, but I will see you again. But farewell for now. Later, ArmorDown.